Hello. Welcome. My name's Rorschach, also known as an alias of the man who balls so hard people mistook him for a nutsack. Don't ask me about that one, but just know it's a title I hold. This is going to be a weird video today because today I'm talking about not balance or Poxcast or I don't know. Today's more of an educational video. What do I mean by that? Well, I've seen a lot of returning players and even new players coming into this game, and I'm seeing a mistake that a lot of people make, including myself when I first came back. Now, I want to do a disclaimer. I'm not saying it's the player's fault. I don't think it is. I've seen both cases of it being a player's fault, the game's fault, and then we could say acts of God. I'm a recovering Catholic. Don't ask me. Recovering Catholic, same as recovering alcoholic. It's a long road and a 12-step program. Let's keep going on. I just want to get out these tips for people who are interested in it, and this is the things that help me in my own experience, and I've seen help other people. Here's some tips. I don't know how many they're going to be. I'll try to keep it, and I'm going to try to keep my ranting down. This is the third time trying to record this without going into a rant, and just know it's hard. It is hard. But let's get into it, shall we? Moving on, as some people would say. That's my catchphrase. Tip number one is if you're coming back, look for stuff that just seems cool to you. I've been seeing a lot of people come back and they're like, what's the most broken thing in this game? I don't know why you'd try to go for the most broken thing. That'd be like if, what are the kids like today? The kids still like the cartoons, the animes? It'd be like if Son Goku tried to go Super Saiyan 3 right off the bat. You just don't, right? Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't. Play with it. It's in the game. Have fun. But if you're realizing that you're playing these decks and you're like, man, this game is not balanced. This game's bad. Or like, I think the game sucks and stuff like that. And because guess what? Losing causes a lot of negative emotions in most people. Not all. And we want an outlet, right? So we usually tend to either use our opponent or the game itself. And, I actually had a discussion about this with some real life friends the other day. They all play fighting games, and it made me aware that even though fighting games might have some of the most toxic communities, it also has like this general rule of it's not the game, it's not my opponent, it's me. The skill issue is me. So like my friend who competes a lot in tournaments and stuff, his thing that when he gets really angry, or as the kids say, tilted, the thing he likes to say is, what am I supposed to do? Because that's what he's, I mean, he's being honest with himself, right? He doesn't know how to do something and he loses because of it. So that's what he gets angry with instead of cussing out his opponent or getting angry at the game or getting angry at random people and stuff like that. Like I said, I've seen it all and I'm even guilty of doing some of it, right? I mean, another title I hold is asshole. I've been told that by a lot of people, including some family members. I get it. And I've also been in the same category of, well, I can't be the asshole. Everyone else is the asshole. Here's an old saying we have. If everyone's saying you're the asshole and no one's agreeing with you, you might be the asshole, you know? And it's a hard pill to swallow, I get it. Again, let's keep the ranting in check. Rorsch, get back on focus. Combobulate, collaborate, get back in the hole. All right, here we are. Tip number 2. Let's revisit tip number 1 and we'll hit them all at the end too. Tip number 1, find something you like, be it cool art, the lore, general gameplay experience, mechanics, or you just liked them before. Go for that. That's what's important because guess what? You now have a passion or motivation to play that, right? If you come back and some guy just hands you like, yeah, this is some meta broken stuff, here you go. Oh, we should be watching a game. I'm sorry guys, that's my bad. I started ranting already. But it's like, you should be playing this broken stuff. And it's like, I don't know how to play that broken stuff because I don't have all the pieces yet in my toolbox to make that deck perform at its required, you know, power level. And that's what I try to stress a lot is people can say decks are broken all they want, but at the end of the day, there is truly broken that anyone can play and it will just play itself. And then there's actual decks that take, I call it pilot skill level. Because when I refer to a deck, I say, yeah, this is a really fun deck, but it might be hard to pilot, or this is a really easy to pilot deck, meaning you can jump in that deck and play a game, and how much difficulty, and that might be something we try to communicate or try to even incorporate into the game as we go. Maybe a deck difficulty scale, because I even see stuff like League of Legends has champ difficulty, right? Now, it's not entirely 100% accurate, but it gives you a good base level, right? Rorsch, stop ranting, get back on track. Focus up, hone in, get it. All right. Tip number 1, find stuff that you like. Don't play the broken stuff, but that's because mainly it's just going to sabotage you in the late game. Which is finding your skill, building upon your skill, and de-rusting or getting back that skill you used to have. What's tip number 2? Find the deck that you like and get a couple of them. I'm not kidding. I understand. I'm a type of guy who doesn't like to play the same deck for more than like 3 or 4 games, and that's why I'm not a good player. I can tell you the truth. I'm an average player. So if you've lost to me, I'm sorry. I either got really lucky or this is going to be a hard pill to swallow. But I am not a good player. I am like 1 centimeter above average. But guess what? Took 17 years, and I got 17 more to give to get to get above average. Ranting, begin, right? So why do I say this? Get 2 to 3 decks you like, so that way you can switch decks. But I warn you now, don't switch decks every game. Play a deck for 5 to 10 games, and then if you get sick of it, play a different deck. Now, I don't know how people are in this world. I don't know if they're like me. If they're like me, I only play like 5 games a week. I don't know how people can play 10 games a day. My mental endurance is not good, but I'm a League of Legends veteran. That means I was a part of the League of Legends society from 2000, I want to say 10 to about... I still play a few games today. It's like heroin. You just it never leaves you. It's always a part of you. But I think a lot of the society we're seeing now with games, Fortnite, Battle Royales, League of Legends, Valorant, see, video games have always had a toxicity in their nature into the community. We're a very small community now, and most of us are adults. I think it's time we start treating each other with respect for each other as adults, because we don't know each other's circumstances. We don't know each other's lives. I'm in college right now for a new degree that makes the last 7 years of my life basically meaningless, and it's stressful. So when people at me and stuff, they're like, oh, you always sound really respectful and nice in these YouTube videos. Oh, you sound like you're a complete lunatic. Both are correct. But yeah, I mean, I try to be respectful and nice, and I try to be understanding and educational when it comes to people on the Discord. But if you at me at like 2 a.m. and I haven't, seen light for 10 hours and I've been working on 4 papers and 2 quizzes and a project for college, yeah, I might not be Mr. Sunshine and Rainbows. I might be Rorschach, which is a nickname I also have in my title collection. Moving on, no ranting. That was more of a public message. I think we should all start treating each other better since we're a small community. And I've been saying that for a while now, and I keep repeating it because it just isn't happening yet. So hopefully my message is heard eventually. Moving on to that rule number 3, we'll wrap up rule number 2. What is 2? Find a few decks you like with that same idea of rule number 1 of finding stuff that just really resonates with you. Because if you have 2 or 3 decks that you can play, that's good. Now you're like, but Rorschach, everything's free now. Like most of the game's free. I want to get it. Do it. But guess what? If you're coming back to play, brother, don't worry. Those cards aren't going anywhere, baby. For the next 2 to 3 months, sit down with those 2 to 3 decks you got and play them. Figure them out. Because guess what? I've met people who were around my level. This is a player I will actually mention. His name was Bella Lugosi. He's a good person on our Discord. He's actually a really nice player. He played UD meta and stuff, and he was actually kind of a clowned on the Discord because he would rage type people when he lost. He came in, kept doing some stuff. He learned from other players, got some new decks and stuff like that. And he has now been, you could call him like he only plays one deck. He plays Salomon. He has been branching out playing other stuff, but he played Salomon for like 2 years. Dude, I cannot beat him when he plays Salomon. He goes to a level that I can't even fathom. And I'm not saying like that's another aspect of the game, right? One tricking. But what I'm trying to show is you can do that without one tricking. What you can do is you can play that deck and learn every aspect of it, and that will build on your skill level. And what I mean is you're learning that entire theme. Go on to the next one that you think is cool until you played every theme, until you played every deck. Because guess what? Once you do that, you know everything. Sorry, I just had a burp that was so big I almost threw up. I'm glad that I could share that with everybody. Rorschach, get back on track. What I was trying to say before that interrupted me, which was, and that wasn't a pasta burp, that is because I have 1 kidney and I'm probably dying of a kidney disease. But who cares? Let's focus on Poxnora. Don't be alarmed. I am getting treatment, and this has been an ongoing thing for like the last 3 years. I just like to joke about it because I burp a lot, and it's because I have acid reflux due to my disease. Moving on to what I was trying to say is you get those 2 to 3 decks and you learn them. That way it can teach you the base level skill. It can teach you the basics. Then you also just learn 3 different decks in and out that you can play at levels that when you get frustrated, you can fall back on. Because guess what? Every time you test something new out and you play ranked or something, because that's what most people do nowadays. They play ranked queue only. And you don't know it. You could be playing a fun deck, right? A deck that's not too strong, and you go against the most saltiest, sweatiest, degenerate stuff, right? And you're like, that's not very fair. You could always just ask in Discord for people to play custom games that are friendly, and it's still the same thing. You just don't get the fake internet points that are called LP, which LP translates into your rank points and what rank you are. But what I'm trying to go for is no matter what happens, I will try to play a game and I will royally get my face thrown on the ground like 3 or 4 matches in a row. And that's when the voice in my head says, all right, that's enough. And I go back to those decks that I, know are already strong. And I'm not saying broken. I know they're well balanced, meaning they can take on a lot of different things and usually have the advantage. Because you built them correctly after playtesting them for over 2 to 3 months. You know all the holes in those decks are gone because you've eliminated them. Those decks are concrete. So you can play them. So I fall back onto those decks when I'm like, all right, it's time to get serious. These kids thought I was playing. Nah, I was just joking around with some new stuff that I hadn't tested out yet. Let's get serious, right? That's what I'm trying to instill here, so that way you have something to fall back on. Or you can be like, man, I was really losing a lot with elves, but I switched over to, I don't know, deep elves. And I figured out that I really struggle with learning how to manage AP from the KF faction bonus, while I don't struggle with the damage bonus of the UD. You know what I'm trying to say is like, because then guess what? You start trying different things. You start working on it. It's not you playing a deck for a day and being like, man, this is hopeless. Yeah, you're going to lose a lot because you know why? There's an old saying that Markoth, well, he borrowed it, but he said it too, which is you learn more from defeat than in victory. Now, I don't know why he was talking about a person's feet, but apparently you learn more from them than you do when winning the game. So, food for thought. Let's wrap this all up. This video's gone on long enough, I think. So here's some rules I got for you, right? When you're coming back, look at stuff, find stuff that you think is cool. For me, personally, I didn't come back to this game for almost 4 years. I took a 4-year break because I went to the military. And I came back because I had a fever dream that I woke up in my fucking bed sweating. And it was because I had a dream that we reenacted the invasion of Normandy, except for I was surrounded by Tortons. And we were on their ships. And I'm pretty sure I have like some sort of like, I'm pretty sure it bonded with the PTSD I got from my service. But like, for some reason, that dream is so fresh in my memory that it will never go away. Seeing Tremor Craghide command like 20 Tortons just for them to get mowed down by artillery, like, blows my mind. So what did I do? I come back and I played Tortons. Now, Tortons are in a very good shape right now, but when I came back, Tortons were legit bottom tier of the game. And I just played them for like 5 months. And I got to the point where people were like, oh man, yeah, you're pretty good at Tortons, but then the deck had limitations. And that's what I'm going to talk about real quick. We already talked about it, actually, never mind, which is the pilot and the deck, right? That's when you can evolve. For me, I evolved and I went to playing jellies. Again, not very popular back when I came back to the game because no one played them. And I got to the point where people knew me as the jelly dude. I was the Jalumbrum dude because I played them so well. And then I realized I started playing other factions. I was like, oh, this theme's way easier than Tortons. This theme's way easier than jellies. And you can take that previously applied knowledge to your next thing that you do. And I'm not saying I'm an expert at this game. There's so much stuff that it's like another language. If you stop using this language, you start forgetting stuff. And that's what really makes people angry. Because they come back and there's so much secret knowledge that you just have to know. We're working on it, guys. We really are. We're trying to make sure that there's no more secret knowledge. But there's just so much information. And I get it. That's why I'm trying to recommend to you guys. That was actually a pretty good cancel magic. That's why I'm trying to recommend to you guys these tips. Get good with just a couple decks, you know? Right now, like some people have said, the game is probably the most balanced it has been in a long time. It's not perfect, but it's the most balanced. Most of every theme is playable besides, I want to say, maybe 2 or 3. And that's because they have cards banned, or we just accidentally hit them a little too hard, like semi-aquatics. They need a little help, but they're still playable. They just have some limitations now. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to stop ranting. I hope everyone is having a great day, night, or if you don't believe in time, presence of this stage of existence. I don't know. It was good talking to you guys. I miss everybody. I hope you guys are all doing great. We're still working on the game. 2024. Jokes on us. Yeah, that's it. Everyone, take care. If you need anything, please come in. Feel free to come in the Discord. It'll be linked down below. All that jazz. Not man, but jazz, as in just the saying. Feel free. It looks like Gnomes is on a binge of uploading spree. Jazz is always hitting up the YouTube uploading, and I hope to be more prevalent in the near future as I start a dev diary log for the streamlining event and all that stuff. But as I said, happy Poxing, guys. We're starting to move into August, which we'll be having a harvest festival here pretty soon for the community. Stay tuned for a video about that. It'll probably be around October, November timeframe. And then we're just a few short months away from, I want to say this is the 4th or 3rd year of Santar, which is the official Discord Christmas event hosted by Atherlin, which is where he gives away prizes, and there's all sorts of things for that day. So if you have all that stuff, stay tuned. The Discord is bustling, and yeah, stay tuned. More stuff along the way. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great day, night, evening, presence of time. It's your boy, Rorschach, Nutsack, Asshole, whatever you want to call me. Signing off until next time. Peace.